Hello and welcome to Sydney Airport. I'm about to catch a flight to Melbourne, then I'm gonna fly on Jetstar's Boeing 787 to Gold Coast. Today marks the first day that Jetstar uses its Dreamliners solely on domestic operations. I've never been on its Boeing 787 before. What does it look like? Let's go and find out together. Prior to the global COVID-19 outbreak, Jetstar used its Boeing 787 Dreamliner from major cities on the East Coast to popular holiday destinations across Indonesia, Thailand, Japan, China, Singapore and Hawaii. Since the beginning of 2021, with the international borders still remain closed, there has been a massive upswing of domestic air travel in Australia. In response, Jetstar decided to use its Dreamliner on domestic operations. Looking at Jetstar's check-in area at Sydney Airport, it is so busy. This video was filmed on the 1st of June. Melbourne was in its 4th lockdown on that day. Most flights to Melbourne were cancelled. Virgin Australia only kept a few to maintain the air route for essential travellers. To enter Victoria, you are required to obtain an entry permit. I think this is for contact tracing purposes. Prior to this outbreak, Melbourne hadn't had a locally acquired case for over 80 days. I thought that empty airport terminals had been a thing of the past. I now realised that it can happen again at any time, anywhere, if we became complacent. All jurisdictions across Australia other than New South Wales closed their border to Victoria. As a result, most flights at Melbourne Airport had been cancelled. Most retail precincts in Terminal 3 were forced to close, except in WH Smith that remained open for travellers. Jetstar uses Terminal 4 at Melbourne Airport. Check-in for the flight opened 2 hours prior to departure. The majority of Jetstar's fleet consists of Airbus A320 family narrow-body jets. They use gate 41 to 52 at Terminal 4. These gates are a 10-minute walk from the terminal's central food court area, and they don't have aero bridges, so passengers need to board the aircraft via the stairs. For today's Boeing 787 flight, Jetstar was able to use gate 12. It is one of the closest gates from the food court and one of the 3 gates at Terminal 4 that has a single aero bridge. Jetstar scheduled 2 Boeing 787 return flights to Gold Coast on its inaugural day. This aircraft, VHVKI, just finished its first return flight and is about to take me to Gold Coast. Jetstar has a total of 11 Boeing 787-8 aircraft. Boeing 787 has 3 variants. The Dash 8 is a base model of the Boeing 787 family and is targeted to replace the Boeing 767 with a typical seating capacity of 242 passengers. The 787-9 is a lengthened variant with a 6.1 meter longer fuselage, and 787-10 is the longest variant of the family. The 787-9 is the most popular variant among airlines, with Qantas having 11 of them in service. I wonder why Jetstar didn't downgrade my flight to an Airbus A320. Surely today's demand wouldn't be high enough to fill up the 787. My guess is that the flight went ahead so the crew could still get enough training, as Jetstar is planning to operate its 787 on more domestic routes such as Sydney Gold Coast, Sydney Cairns and Melbourne Cairns from the beginning of July.
Face masks are mandatory at the airport unless you have an exemption. Together we can help stop the spread and stay healthy. Melbourne Airport thanks you for your attention.
Afternoon, Jetstar passengers travelling on JQ434. We are now ready to board your service at gate lounge number 12. Thank you, board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jetstar's Boeing 787-8 are in a 2-class layout. The cabin has 3 sections.
Cool, thanks.
Lovely, you're just turning up this row here for me, thank you.
In the main cabin from row 23 to 57 are economy class seats in a 3-3-3 configuration. In front of the main cabin are a small section of economy class seats marked as row 10 to 13. And at the front of the aircraft are 3 rows of business class seats in a 2-3-2 configuration. The whole aircraft has a capacity of carrying 335 passengers. Let's have a look at the economy class seats first. The seat has a width of 17 inches and a pitch of 30 inches. The pitch is 1 inch more than the seats on Jetstar A320 and is the same as the economy seats on Qantas Boeing 737. The seat is reclinable and has an adjustable headrest. Each seat also features a seatback touchscreen equipped with a USB plug and a universal power plug between each seat. On this flight, the power plugs have been turned on since I boarded the plane. There are a total of 21 business class seats on board. Today I picked seat 3A, the last row in the business class cabin. I like the last row because I can recline freely and it offers the best privacy. The seat had a width of 19 inches and a pitch of 38 inches. Although being called business, I find the seat pitch and the seat width to be similar to the premium economy seats on Qantas Boeing 787. There's a mini cocktail table shared between 2 seats. There are 2 buttons on the side of the armrest. One is to adjust the recline and the other is to extend the footrest. Although being a touchscreen, there's also a remote for you to control the screen. Each business seat features a power plug and a USB plug. This is the first time I ever dealt with a footrest of this type, so yeah, to extend it you have to press 2 buttons. This is what the seat looks like when it's in fully reclined position with the footrest extended. In the armrest is a retractable tray table and the table is quite stable. At the moment, Jetstar sells these business class seats as extra legroom seats on domestic flights. I purchased the Max bundle while booking the ticket, which allows me to select any seat on this aircraft. The Dreamliner is the first Boeing aircraft that features mood lighting, which is designed to give passengers a more relaxing environment. Another first on this aircraft is the electronically dimmable windows. The button beneath the windows allows passengers to control the amount of light entering the cabin. To achieve this, the windows have a layer of gel in between them. When an electrical current goes through the gel, it causes a chemical reaction that changes its opacity. The higher the voltage, the darker the gel becomes, hence the windows can go from transparent to being able to black out the external light with the press of a button. I really wish that I could sit in a jump seat to witness the takeoff and landing from the cockpit. Maybe one day when I become famous enough.
Can we go up, bro?
The onboard safety instruction card in your seat pocket shows pictures of your brace position, along with other. Keep the mask in place by fitting and tightening the strap.
The Boeing 787's wings are constructed using up to 50% composite material by weight and 80% by volume. They are incredibly flexible, which help dampen movement from wind gusts and turbulence, making the takeoff really smooth. Being a low-cost airline, food and drinks are not included in the ticket. Jetstar has a great onboard menu with a selection of hot and cold snacks, beverages, and Jetstar's merchandise. As I've purchased the Max bundle, my ticket includes a $10 meal voucher. If you've watched my previous Jetstar reviews, you will know that my favorite snack is Dad's Pies Duo Pack. I ordered one of those plus a soft drink for a total of $12. In addition,
There is your sauce and your Pepsi, and the pie won't be too long. I'll bring it out.
Thank you.
There is.
In addition, one of my friends highly recommended me to try the Good Crisp Company's chips, so I got one of those as well. The Dad's Pies Duo Pack takes around 25 minutes to be heated up in the oven. The crew gave me the chips and the drink first. If you pre-ordered the pies online, the crew would have heated up for you before the flight and given it to you as soon as the seatbelt sign is turned off. For the Max bundle, I got an in-flight voucher so I couldn't pre-order online, but it's not a big deal for me. I can wait 25 minutes. Because we are so high up, the chips are actually colder than room temperature. The reason why my friend highly recommended the chips is because the cold chips are so nice when chewing them. It's like why people prefer cold water over room temperature water. Fair enough. Well, to me there's no difference, these are just normal chips to be honest. The size of the seatback screen in business is about the same size as those in economy. During pre-COVID times, the screen featured a good selection of movies and TV shows. At the moment, the screen only shows you the movie map. I have to say that the touch screen is not very responsive. I have to click a few times for the system to register my request. Well, you can always control the screen using the remote. The remote also allows you to turn on the overhead reading light and call the flight attendant using the call button. A good feature about the screen is that you can't see what's on other people's screens. Unless you are right in front of it, from all the other angles the screen looks dark. This design not only protects the privacy of what you are watching, but also on the red-eye flights, I guess you wouldn't be disturbed by other passengers' bright screens when you try to take a nap. "25 minutes later, the Duo Pack had finally arrived. The pack includes a 110-gram steak pie and an 80-gram beef sausage roll. I asked the cabin manager if they had knives and forks to cut my pie. Unfortunately, they didn't, but the manager was very nice and offered me a spoon as an alternative. I've always been a fan of this steak pie. The meat inside wasn't dry and the flavor was great. The base of the sausage roll was crispy, both snacks were perfect, so the Duo Pack remains to be my favorite snack on Jetstar. After finishing my snacks, it was already about time to start our descent into Gold Coast. Let's have a quick look of the lavatory on board. The lavatory is situated behind the cockpit and is dedicated to business class passengers and the flight crew. It has enough room for me to move around. The Qantas branded hand wash is a good reminder that Jetstar is owned by Qantas. I'm sure you are very curious about the number of passengers on board this flight. There were a total of 16, 2 in business class, 1 in the mini economy section and 13 in the main cabin. Being on a wide-body aircraft with a seatback screen and a hot meal had given me a feeling of going on a long-awaited overseas trip. I absolutely loved travelling on this aircraft. The cabin crew were very friendly, they were chatting with passengers during the flight. However, none of them attempted to chat with me. Maybe they were afraid of my cameras. That's understandable. My camera setup does scare some people sometimes.
The seatbelt sign has now been switched on for landing. Please make sure your seatbelt and the seatbelt of infants and children travelling with you is now fastened.
Now the price. The base fare of this flight is $57, which secures you a seat and 7 kilos of carry-on luggage. I paid another $42.50 to purchase the Max bundle. So for a total of $99.75, I was able to choose any seat on this aircraft, including the business class seat, with 30 kilos of checked luggage, a $10 in-flight meal voucher, 1,650 Qantas points, and 30 Qantas status credits. The cheapest way to fly between Melbourne and Gold Coast are with Virgin and Rex. Their economy class seats can be as low as $65, but the aircraft they use are a much less comfortable Boeing 737. To me, I think I would rather pay a bit extra to enjoy being on the Jetstar Boeing 787 aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gold Coast, where the flight time is approximately 5:30 in the afternoon. On behalf of all your crew, it's been our pleasure having you on board.
See you later.
See you later. Thank you.
See you later.
After landing, the plane parked at the furthest gate from the domestic terminal, and we were greeted by the Queensland Police. If you are planning to travel to Queensland, make sure you apply for a Queensland Border Declaration Pass in advance and answer the questions truthfully.
Hi guys, have you guys all completed your border pass?
As I only transited at Melbourne Airport and did not leave the confines of the airport, I was allowed to enter Queensland without having to quarantine. I know I promised to film a hotel review in Coolangatta, but I was exhausted after such a long day of travelling, so I'm only going to give you a quick tour of my room. The hotel that I'm staying at tonight is called the Pink Hotel Coolangatta. It is located only meters away from the Queensland-New South Wales border and also only a few steps away from the beach. This is their Superior King Suite for $160 a night. The room can accommodate up to 4 people with a separate lounge room and a bedroom. The suite is large and very clean. It offers an amazing ocean view with Gold Coast skyline in the distance. The TV in the bedroom provides free Netflix and YouTube streaming, so you can watch my video from your bed. How lovely! Hello and welcome to Sydney Airport. Tonight I'm going to catch a Qantas Boeing 787 Dreamliner from Sydney to Sydney. That's right, I was very fortunate. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find it interesting or helpful, please don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more interesting flight, train and hotel reviews. And guys, thank you so much for helping me reach 7,500 subscribers. I'm now 3/4 way from hitting 10k. I'll see you guys in my next video.